Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? This is author coach Keandria Ragland. She's Purpose Key, the host of She's Purpose Key Book Talks and the host of the annual The Power Moves Her. We are here with another sponsor. As you know, that we are holding fourth annual The Power Moves Her in Lawrenceville, Georgia, June 26th and 27th. And guess what? I am so excited. I'm so blessed to have many women that's in business to come alongside of me and to help me launch it in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And so I would love, as we have been coming on the last week, the last 2 weeks, honestly, and just sharing the women that's in business and why you really need to be at the summit. So we are sharing individuals that's playing a part, whether they in the building or they have just show their support in a way where they just want to help me to have everything that we need when it comes to, like, the bags, and it comes to the food and the drinks and all that good stuff. And Tiffany D Kelly, Tiffany Inspired, she will be one that's going to be catering. Y'all, listen, we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. So I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. So Tiffany, come on in and let them know who you are.
Hi, Keandria. So thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Can you hear me good? Just want to make sure that
I
my thing
can.
is all right. I'm super excited to be here, and I am the founder of Tiffany Inspires, and under that umbrella is also Cooking Social Events as well as Elevate Wellness 65. And so what I pretty much do is I create wellness centered experiences that help people reconnect to themselves, to each other, and to what matters most. And through my culinary experiences, wellness workshops, retreats, and now my newest company, the Legacy House Wellness Retreat, I help individuals and teams and organizations create space for connection, restoration, and growth. And so when you said catering, I was like, oh, she done burning my ears. We call them because if you know me by now, I don't do anything average. And so I call them culinary tasting experiences because it's a whole experience. I don't even consider myself a caterer because of what I do. I'm a wellness experience strategist. That's what I do. And so I'm really excited to be a part of your amazing coming up in what we almost had 2 weeks.
Yes, girl. We listen. Time is clicking on us now, right? I was looking at my calendar. I was like, "Ooh, we listen, counting down, right?" So I'm excited. Yes,
Yes, absolutely.
yes. So I'm excited. Again, to have you to bring that experience. Like you said, you don't do nothing average, baby. And if you have not seen her work, you need to follow her. So she gonna just stay on, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about her journey and follow her. She talk about, like she always talk about, some of what she does, but again, she does not bring anything average. So I'm looking forward myself seeing how everything just comes together. Like, I'm telling you, the pressure have been on. So as they say, bigger levels. Sometimes you got the bigger devils, and so I'm one of those, like, you know, I know how to keep myself together and stay in the word and listen to my praise and worship music to keep things together. But I have been identifying some tactics lately, and I said, devil, I see you, I do, but the devil is a liar. God
Yes, he
gets the
is.
glory in this, all the glory. Because first of all, it's not even none of me, it's all of him. Because who's supposed to be there is going to be there. Every vendor, every attendee, every volunteer. And, somebody was like, it's called growing pains. And so this is it's a whole different level. And I'm a humble person, I'm a grateful person, and it takes other supportive women like yourself, Tiffany, to encourage and inspire. So when we met yesterday, listen, you and your partner, when we were walking through the event center, and you just don't know how much I needed that, because y'all been there, done it. You know what I'm saying? And still y'all do events like all year round almost. And I do the Power Moves Her like, once a year annually. I didn't do it last year because I was trying to get established here in Georgia. So the Lord kind of let me know you getting too comfortable. You still got work to do. So I had to again make it happen. But again, when you all came alongside of me yesterday, it was an atmosphere shift. And I said, okay, Lord, it's kind of like, I know he's my number one safe place, but when it comes to those supportive sisters and those sponsors like yourself that help you continue to bring that vision together and say, oh yeah, we got this. So I truly appreciate that extra affirmation and confirmation to let me know we got this. Okay. And so I would like to ask you, when it comes to your career, how long have you been in your career? And then at what point of your career did you transition to become your own boss?
So I'm an educator for 25 years. And I have my last, I don't know, 16, 17 years, I have served as what's called an instructional coach in a K-5 school, helping to support teachers along their journey, helping them to improve instruction and provide support to the administration. And of course, making sure students succeed. And I've been doing that for a long time. I established my business in 2014 officially. I've had different businesses before that, but this particular business, like Tiffany Inspires, this is the third of Tiffany of this. Like, it's my original company started out as Loose the Power Within, and then I changed the name a couple of years back. It was Tiffany D Kelly Consulting. But as God continues to expand the vision, Tiffany Inspires was what landed the most, and so a change happened a couple of years back, and so as far as transitioning out 100% full time, and this is probably my first time publicly even sharing this because people who are around me know, but publicly telling people like, hey, and so this is actually this was my last year of school. I resigned on May 28th. Was my last day at work. And keep me in your prayers so I can stay unemployed and employed in my brand.
Absolutely. Congratulations. Yes.
And so I have transitioned out, and I'm in the process of putting things in place to keep me going. And I trust God. I move with faith. I say that in this season, I'm moving like I can't lose. There are things that I'm learning. And all I can do is just say, God, I trust you. God, I'm watching you work. I'm watching him work right now. Like, he's doing some things, he's shifting some things, and some of the things are stretching me. But I know if I can, when I recall the receipts and things that God has done over especially the last 2 years, I'm like, okay, if God did all of that 2 years ago for me and counting, then I know that it's only gonna get better from here. And so that's how I see it. But I love what I do. And of course, even in my career, I love what I did to help students and to support teachers. And my last school, I absolutely love my administration. But I knew that my time was up. Time was up. And so I'm being obedient and I'm walking in it boldly because it's entrepreneurship. If anyone who's looking to be in entrepreneurship, as you already know, Kendra, it is not for the weak. And so you have to know when to pivot. You have to know when, okay, this is something that's working, and to stay in it, even when it looks a little tough. I would say in this past season, this season right here I'm in, I have never, I would say this is the longest I kept going with something, probably like where pretty much adding on to what God has given me the vision, like my cooking studio. This is year number 2. This is year number 2. And to still keep going and hosting more events, and now getting into more of the consulting side of it and doing the culinary tasting experiences. It's amazing. And now I have the legacy house. So it's like, okay, guys, what are we doing? And all of them connect. That's the thing. They're not disjointed. Everything and allows you to really take care of what I always say, take care of God's temple. And so I'm really excited. Yep.
Absolutely. So you kind of talked a little bit about it, but if it was the give me one fear, like what was one of the biggest fears you had and really just stepping out of your what you consider as your norm when it comes to education fully into your business?
Mm. That consistent paycheck.
Yeah.
That's one of them. That's one of them. Because I hear stories from entrepreneur friends. You have those months where you may not have any money and things like that. I'm like, oh, this is kind of rough. Secondary one to that would be my health insurance. And
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of entrepreneurs, that's one of the things that keeps people from stepping out because they're afraid of not having health insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are probably my two biggest fears. But what I started doing before I left was, okay, Tiffany, these are your fears. Okay, but let's squash them.
Mm-hmm.
Do the research. How much does it really cost to have health insurance? Do your
Right.
research. Okay, Tiffany, so what can you put in place to make sure you have consistent monthly income? Do the homework. Put in the work. Put those things in place. Plant those seeds and reap the harvest later. Like, that's what I've been doing. That's what I've
Yeah.
been doing.
Good. I'm glad you shared that because again, outside of the consistency of finances is healthcare. Because a lot of people it, listen, do the work. I'm glad you said do the work because it is work. But you also said it's not for the weak. It's really not. It's not for the weak. And so if there was someone that was listening, um, that is in a place to want to start a business or in their beginning stage of starting their business and ready to really just excel and go to the next level, what strategy would you give them or what type of encouragement would you give them to continue the next?
One of the things I would say first and foremost would be the one, you got to pray about it. You got to pray about it. You got to ask God. God, is what is it that you want me to do? God, direct my steps. Order my steps. You have to. If you're a person who's a woman of God and you believe, like, you have to ask God to show you first and foremost. That's number one. Like, you gotta trust God that He's gonna guide you and He'll show you. The other thing is, in the beginning of a business, when you first decide to do something, telling this to a client, because I have a client in my health and my wellness program, and we had a one-on-one coaching session, and she has a business that she wants to start, and so I told her to begin to do the research. You have to research, your market. You have to know, well, what is it that what does my ideal client need? What keeps them up at night? What is that thing that how can I be their problem solver? That's the thing. How can I help them? How can I be that painkiller for them? And so you have to know, and then you have to do the research. So as my business coach always tells me, to tell us when I first got into her program years ago, is you have to do the research and you have to be willing to experiment in the beginning. So that means you have to be willing to try. So be open as someone new to entrepreneurship or wanting to get into entrepreneurship. You have to be willing to also experiment. Okay, you may have a couple that okay, which one do the people keep calling you for? And then dive a little deeper in it. So yeah, for a while, like, oh, I didn't go to school to death. I felt I was dealing with all these little issues. But guess what? People kept calling me. And so I said, well, maybe I need to dabble this a little further. so I got feedback. I did a cooking event where it was more of a culinary tasting, and they said, hey, Tiffany, we enjoyed this, but what we really want to do is we want to cook with you. I said, I'll be doggone. So I ended up changing it to where people started. So it's why, well, Cooking with Tiffany was already a brand, part of my brand. It was Cooking Healthy with Tiffany. And then I just shortened I made so literally a year.
You breaking up just a little bit on me. So yes, you all, as you all see, be willing to experiment, research your market, Okay, research your market and be open to feedback. I think that's big when it comes to startup and when it comes to after your initial launch. It's something that I had to learn is start with what you have. Create the vision, create the plan, work with it. Let me see.
Okay,
Okay,
you're
they
back.
be back.
And one school in particular booked me for a couple of sessions, and their last one of the year was a huge cooking experience with me. So my team and I pull up. We basically did a cooking experience for 30, 38, 40 educators. And then I went on the road with them, went to a school district in Florida, 60 educators over 2 days. So I knew now that this concept was something that people wanted. So you have to be open, do the research, get the feedback, interview people, prospective clients, interview your ideal client, someone who you may know, or either people who follow you in your network. So those are some of the things I would say if you're in this, and just understand, also be open to the pivot if you have to. So because sometimes we get so married to something that we don't want to pivot when it's maybe it's not working. Maybe your data is telling you that, but you're so caught up in it that you're not willing to even try something different. So be open to experiment is one of my biggest things that I would say. And then also making sure you have people around you that are going to encourage you. That's going to be very key. I'm not interview, but having a circle of people who are not going to just be yes people, but who want to tell you like it is, who want, like my cousin who you met, who's on my partner in crime, who, well, not in
Yes.
crime, but partner in entrepreneurship. She's one of my voices of reason. She'll tell me a minute, no, Tiffany, I don't. Here's what you need to be doing. Or yes, I like that idea, and here's how you can execute it. Or I get their opinions. And sometimes I take it, and sometimes I don't. But you
Mm-hmm.
got to have people who are going to be real with you. You have to encourage you, because if you don't, then you're not. What if you don't have feedback and accountability? Then you're not growing. Because people who give you feedback and hold you accountable, they stretch you, and so that's going to be very important as well. Having that team of folks who are going to be there to support you and that you can trust, because you can't trust everybody. So you have to be careful who's in your circle.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing those tips. Listen, she gave you a lot. So listen, take what you can. Okay, because I'm telling you, it's because, when it comes to like the enlargement of territory, it definitely take like be around those people when it comes to where you're trying to get to. Um, that's like for an example, you may have this is like your first year, and you're around people. Get around people that's been in it for 5 years, 10 years, and again, just I always say build relationship. You have to build relationship with individuals. Like Tiffany and I, we met like last year. However, we met last year, but we have been able to connect in different areas, right? And now that it's time, I was able to say, hey, can I have a conversation with you? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you can be like you said, you can be planning a thing, but to have that other eye for somebody to say like, hey, you need to do this, or hey, you need to do this, or look at it this way, or do this, or whatever. You need that. You know what I'm saying? So I truly appreciate you. So one last question: what made you say yes to helping She's Purpose Key with the fourth annual The Power Moves Her?
Well, first of all, I absolutely love helping other Black women. And so when you when you asked me to do this, I said, ooh, I said, she said catering. I said, ooh, catering, no, I don't do catering. And then I was like, but then again, I was like, we could level this up though. I was like, I love helping women. And because your platform is all around helping women to level up and to succeed in business and life in their walk with God, I was like, okay, yes, I want to help her. I want to do this. And just even being able to like hear your vision, and because I've done this, I love doing events. And I didn't tell you this, but my father was an entrepreneur. He's no longer here. He had a catering hall / club, laundromat, dry cleaners, commercial space, and 3 apartment buildings in New York that I helped run all those before I was even 20. And so I love being, and so I've been in the hospitality, not hospitality per se, but like as far as event planning space for an extremely long time. And so when I hear someone wanting to do something, and if I can put my little input in and say, hey, and be an extra eye and help, I'm all for it. I'm like, I want to see you succeed. I want to see it to become successful. I want to see your vision become a reality and it manifests and it be everything that you want it to be. And so when I given that opportunity, I was like, yes, I want to help. I absolutely can. I want to do this. Sure, why not? Yep.
Well, I would like to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, like I'm just I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be a blessing, and I just thank God for continuing to use me to the capacity that He is, and just continuing to mature me in to the capacity because it's a different type of maturity. I'm telling you, we got to grow up. I mean, yeah, that's just sitting in my spirit. It's a different type of maturity as a woman, and not taking it lightly to the assignment that He has me in this season, and the people that He has blessed me with, even with the volunteers. Because with me being in a new area, it was like, okay, I'm not in my hometown,
Right.
so I'm not able to pour from people that I really know. I'm having to hump as I'm a humble person, but I have to humble myself even more. Even the little bit of pride that I didn't think that I had, but there was like, okay, I don't want to be asking these people. You know what I'm saying? They don't really know me, but because of who I am, I think God has given me that gift of connection and love. Like when I get into a circle of people and I come with a right heart and with a right motive, again, because it is spirit led and it's a God given assignment,
yes,
you're either going to get a yes or a no. And most of the no's that I get is because they don't understand. First of all, they're not believers. It is what it is. I mean, I was on phone conversation with one person. I say this, and then we went around and around and around. And she was like, I have to tell you that I don't think this is in alignment with what I do. Or who, so when I got to doing the research, I found out why. But that's the second time that happened to me. But the first time it happened to me, the person ended up coming back and tell me that they don't go to church. They don't do church. Even though, because, we start out with the revival and then we excel into the workshops the next day, but it's still held at church. It's held in a church building or event center that's connected to the church center. And I always say this, even when people interview here on Book Talks, I let them know this is a faith-based platform. I invite the Holy Spirit to come and go before me and you. Hide me where they can see Him. Okay. But again, if they're not connected, if it's not a divine connection, a divine call, collaboration, or network, let it be known. Because you're not going to feel comfortable. You're not going to feel like you're in your right place. And I would prefer for you to tell me no before you tell me yes. And you know that this is out of alignment with your call. So I truly appreciate you. And is there any last words that you would like to say?
No, I just thank you for being obedient. Being obedient to what God has to do, because women are going to be blessed because of what you're doing, and they already been blessed. If they've been to any of your other stuff that you've done already this year, or previous years, they have already been blessed. It just goes up from here, Andrea. So,
Amen. I received that.
Thank you for being obedient. I look forward to 2 weeks from now. If it's looking into any of my other events coming up, you can definitely follow me on Instagram at Tiffany D Inspires on Instagram. You'll hear about the upcoming event. Of course, the house is here opening now, and we're taking bookings. At the time, we're getting ready for our now, which started the whole after dark event, Sugar and Smoke. It's an experience that's August because of June. So But when the link opens for that, which is going to be probably on Friday, follow me on Tiffany D Inspires. Everything that I'm. Yep.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. And yes, for the Power Moves Her, that's June 26th, 27th. So go ahead and get your tickets. So we are full with vendors, but we still have attendees Summit Day tickets available. Friday is free. Okay, so go to shespurposekey.com, click on Summit registration. It will give you all the details. And go on She's Purpose Key, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and follow me at Keandria Ragland and on LinkedIn. And then it's author and coach Keandria Ragland on YouTube and Instagram. Instagram and Facebook is She's Purpose Key. So you will be able to see more of the sponsors, and you will be able to see the speakers that will be on Friday, the speakers that will be on Saturday. And we look forward to connecting with you ladies. Have a blessed night. Bye.